So, Mr. Brennan, who are we going with first? Dr. Wolfe?
Please.
Okay.
All right. So Dr. Wolfe is about to get voir dired.
Good afternoon, doctor.
Good afternoon.
Did you become aware there was an order from this court to produce records?
Yes.
Did you receive a copy of that order?
Yes.
Did you understand that there was a request for certain communications?
Yes.
Did you understand that you were supposed to turn those records over to the Superior Court?
Yes.
Did you turn records over to the Superior Court?
I provided a copy of that production notice to Ms. Little.
Did you provide the records to the Superior Court?
I didn't directly email that to the court, no.
Did you indirectly email it to the court?
It was my understanding that it would be passed along to the court.
So you did not, pursuant to the order, provide the records to the Superior Court, did you?
Not directly to the court, no.
When you read the order, you understood what the order was requiring you to provide, correct?
Correct.
It was requiring you to provide all text messages.
Yes.
Did you provide all text messages?
I don't have any in my possession.
Did you look for any text messages that are not in your possession about this case?
Wait, what?
Yes.
Okay. Did you find any?
No, sir.
What did you do to look?
So I went through the phone that I presently have, and
I don't
as
have
I
the text
informed Ms.
message.
Little,
Did you look for ones you
last
don't
year
have?
I was under T-Mobile, was my carrier. Subsequent to that, I then switched to Verizon in, I believe it was November. So I made an effort to contact T-Mobile as well as get access to my T-Mobile account hub. Unfortunately, I was unable to get access to it or get any records prior to, or at least from my T-Mobile carrier. Then I went through my Verizon records that I have from 2025. That was, I could only go back 3 months, and I provided those records.
How about emails? You didn't change email carriers, did you?
No, sir.
Did you provide all your emails from when you first were contacted by the defense?
Yes, sir.
And you provided every one of those emails to who?
It would have been in the file that I put together for the production.
How many emails did you find between you and the defense?
I'd have to look at the order, but it was probably around a dozen or so.
Who did you correspond with by email?
It would have been Mr. Jackson. Miss Little might have been on one of those emails. There might have been a couple other members. I don't remember off the top of my head.
You communicated by phone with the defense, didn't you?
Yes.
And that began as far back as March 2024?
After our report was issued, yes, in March.
Hank is excited.
Did you ever have any conversations that weren't on a regular telephone? Do you have a Zoom?
Yes, we have had, I believe it was a Zoom or a Teams meeting. We've had a couple.
Were you ever on the phone before the first trial in a conversation where you and Dr. Rentschler both were on the call?
There may have been an instance of that. I just don't recall.
Well, think back.
I don't recall.
I don't recall.
When you learned you were part of this case, did you have contact with Mr. Jackson before you testified at the voir dire?
Yes.
And in those communications, you spoke about your role?
I think we spoke about logistics and coordinating my arrival here for the voir dire and certainly the trial.
Well, when you spoke on March 20th, 2024, didn't you talk about more than coordination of logistics?
So I believe that would have been the very first phone call that I had with Mr. Jackson.
Right. Was that more than about logistics?
Well, I think we were trying to figure out what should we do. I will note that this was a very abnormal situation for me, being involved in a federal investigation and then ultimately being called as a witness. No. Well, I'm trying to answer your question.
But you're not. Did you talk about more than logistics?
Are you finished with your answer, Dr. Wolfe, or are you still answering?
I was still trying to answer.
Go ahead, finish.
Again, the situation was abnormal. I didn't know if we could get involved. I didn't think Mr. Jackson knew we could get involved. In terms of a path forward, would we be able to do more work? Could we review additional material? How could we work together moving forward? There was a lot of unknowns, so there was a lot of uncertainty.
You done?
Yes, sir.
Did you talk about more than just logistics? So when did you become an advocate for the defense?
Oh, my God.
Interesting.
That's an
Do
objection.
you feel like you're an advocate for the defense?
No, sir.
Are you sure about that?
Sir, I'm on the science and the analysis that I've done. That's the side that I'm on.
You sure are. Because after that 424
Holy
call,
shit.
letting them know that the United States Attorney's Office
Judges just letting
for you to be called as a witness.
tee off on the witness.
You called them. Did you ever delete text?
Yes.
After you had text messages with the defense, did you delete those texts?
Yeah, after the trial concluded, I mean, that's something I routinely do. I'm not going to keep texts from Mr. Jackson, especially now that we're past a year. I would have no reason to keep those, sir.
I'm not asking for the excuse. I'm asking if you did it.
God,
did you delete
such
text?
a cock.
Again, it's something that I typically do. I communicate with attorneys all the time, whether it's for
He already said he
trial
did it.
or inspections. I don't have a habit of keeping a text chain about scheduling or meeting or, hey, can we meet at this time?
Remember what I
or
said
show
earlier?
up here. I just don't have a habit,
Have a habit
keeping
of
that
it.
type of text.
So
He's
you-
not my friend, sir.
So you didn't delete texts.
I think I just told you that, yes, I did delete the text.
No, you didn't tell me, but you just did now. Thank you.
No, he did. He definitely
How
said,
many
yes,
texts
I deleted text.
Did you delete?
I don't know the number, sir. Probably, I don't know, maybe around 100 or so.
And when did you delete those over 100 texts between you and the defense?
I have no idea, sir.
You can't remember deleting over 100 texts? What you
Sir,
were?
I just said I delete text routinely. You're asking me to specifically give you a location and a time when I deleted those. I don't recall that.
You said it was after the trial.
He said it
Yes.
was probably after the trial. He actually didn't
out
say
of
it was.
is it typical for a biomechanical engineer to use an application like Signal to talk
Yes.
to an attorney on a case?
Yes,
Sure.
very much.
You know the benefit of Signal, don't you?
Privacy.
I mean, it's a messaging platform, yes.
Well, it's an encrypted app, isn't it?
I don't know, sir.
Damn near every
keeps no
messaging app you
record.
use these days is encrypted.
So the only time that you use Signal in your career is when you were dealing with this defense team?
Yes, it was earlier this year. Mr. Jackson had communicated with me indicating that it was his preferred method of communication. So yes, we did exchange some messages on Signal.
Okay, you're saying a lot of things. You're saying you think. I want to know your best memory. I don't want you to think. If you don't know, you don't know. How many times did you use Signal with the defense to talk about this case?
Going to allow it.
From what I recall, was probably a handful of times.
When you say if what you recall, are you purposely being vague in case there's records, or do you not remember?
I don't remember, sir.
You don't have to rely on a log. You can rely on your actual memory.
Right. I'm telling you that I didn't keep track of it, so I don't know the specific number.
How many times do you think
How
you
many
talked
text
by
messages
Signal?
did you send on
As
your
I just
Signal?
mentioned, I think it was a handful of times.
I don't know what a handful means. I don't
Probably
know what that
around,
means.
probably 4 to 5.
Well, was it 4 or was it 5?
It was probably 4 to 5.
When
Next
you were
question.
required by court order to provide all of the records to Your Honor, you knew that one of the important things you need to respond to were communications between you and the defense for Her Honor to consider, right?
Yes,
And Signal is a communication, isn't it?
certainly.
You looked at all your
If they're not
records.
there,
you knew
they're
it
not
listed the
there.
text messages and the phone calls. You knew that, right?
Yes,
You knew that was going to be a representation that you were making to the court about your communications with the defense. You understood that, didn't you?
yes, sir.
And you wouldn't want to mislead the court, would you?
No, which is why I told you.
I asked. You didn't put anywhere in your response to the court order that there were communications beyond text messages and phone calls. You never, ever alerted the court or anybody to that, did you?
Again, because I have no record of it. I
That's-
have no way of being able to tell when those took place or how many there were.
The question I asked you is when you responded to the court order to provide all communications, and you responded by offering text messages and you responded by listing phone calls, you knew that your Signal calls were communications, didn't you?
I provide everything that I had in my possession, sir.
That's not what I'm asking you. You knew the Signal calls were communications, didn't you?
Yes,
Okay. And you never
You're not ordered to
informed in
produce
your
things you
response
don't have.
that there were phone calls through Signal as part of your communications, did you?
again, because I didn't have any record like I do with the Verizon entries as well as the emails. I could not, there's nothing I had in my possession, sir.
You've read this court order, haven't you?
Yes.
Did you understand when the court was looking for all communications, it meant all communications?
And I've provided everything that I have in my possession, sir.
Do you think it's helpful not answering the question and just diverting every time I ask you something? Do you think that's helpful?
This is insane. Like,
Do you want to answer my question or do you want me to move on?
I think I answered your question.
I don't think you did, so I'll ask it one more time.
All right, no comments, please.
the judge
Think that
needs
providing
to step in
a
here.
direct
It's
examination to
insane.
the defense. As you sit here today, you don't really know how many communications you had with the defense before your last testimony, do you?
I think it's all memorialized in the records and the emails that were produced.
The ones that were produced, but not things that were lost or destroyed or deleted, correct?
Again, there are records, even though the physical texts aren't there, there's certainly records of the calls, incoming and outgoing, as well as texts.
And sir, is there any other communications that you've had with the defense that you didn't tell us about outside the texts and the phone calls and the signal calls, or any other communications that you can think of that you had with the defense?
No, sir. I've provided everything I have in my possession.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Leslie, do you have anything?
Dr. Wolfe, I realize that the court has a copy of this, but I'd like you to please read the first sentence in the indentation at the top after following.
Okay. All records within ARCCA's or its owners, partners, employees, or representatives' possession, custody, or control in whatever format kept that reflect or in any way relate to work performed or contemplated and related in any way to billing, payment, compensation, and or reimbursement of any kind in connection with Commonwealth versus KarenRead.
Did you, and to the best of your knowledge, everyone associated with ARCCA comply completely with this order with regard to the records that are requested in it?
Yes, everything I had in my possession and that ARCCA had in our possession, we produced.
No further questions, Your Honor.